anticipated game. And joining me now is Jason Schreier. He is a news editor from Kotaku, based in New York. Jason, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. This is
Hi,
Nintendo's first Mario game on smartphones. How does Super Mario Run differ from a normal, typical Mario game?
The biggest difference is that you run automatically. So instead of holding one button to run and using the directional pad to keep your character moving, your character will just keep moving by himself. And you can actually press the touchscreen to jump. And that's how you jump over pits and collect coins and jump on all the little mushroom Goombas. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's free to download, but to unlock everything, you got to pay about $10 US. Is that a little bit too much for a smartphone game?
You know what, Nintendo has always been, as you mentioned before, reluctant to enter the smartphone market, and one of the reasons for that is that smartphone games are just cheap, and they're seen as kind of throwaway games. And I think Nintendo's goal is to make this seem like a big premium game that you buy and you play for a really long time. I don't know if it'll be successful at that price point. It's a little bit of a tough sell to people who aren't used to spending that much money on their games on their phones, but I understand where Nintendo is coming from there.
Yeah, and this is, again, the first Mario game on smartphones, and it's the first time in a long time that you don't need a Nintendo system to play Mario games. So is there a worry that this could affect sales of Nintendo systems?
You know, that's an interesting question. So I think one of the reasons that Nintendo has moved into mobile in the first place is because they're not having a lot of success with their systems. Their Wii U was basically a big failure over the past few years, and one of the reasons that they're doing this is because they want to expand Mario and get him in the hands of people who haven't played him in a long time. I think that there are two big markets for this. One is adults who maybe played Mario when they were kids or knew about Mario when they were kids but have just kind of lost touch and are now basically playing games on their phones. And two is kids who don't know what Mario is because all they're playing is Minecraft and maybe Pokemon Go earlier this summer, which was kind of a test bed for this and proved to Nintendo and to the world that they can release their big franchises and get a lot of people playing them, both newcomers and veterans. So it makes sense, and I think that this strategy will actually get people familiar with Mario in preparation for Nintendo's new system, the Switch, which comes out in March.
Yeah, and this is the time to introduce Mario to a new generation. And you mentioned Pokemon Go. I mean, that was so huge. It was so big. It was a cultural phenomenon earlier this year. I mean, how big will Super Mario Run be?
That's a great question. It's hard to predict because, as you mentioned before, Super Mario Run costs $10 and Pokemon Go is totally free. So the gateway for entrance is a little bit different there. I think it will be big. I don't know if it will be as game-changing as Pokemon Go, where you walk down the street and you see everybody playing it. But I think it will succeed. I actually do think that it will get more people into Mario who hadn't even thought about Mario before or who want to look back at their childhood and get a little nostalgic about the past. I'm already seeing lots of people, tons of buzz about it, lots of people talking about it online, lots of people today actually waiting for the game to unlock because usually iPhone games go live at midnight on the store, but Nintendo has some sort of special deal where it doesn't unlock until 1 p.m. Eastern on the Apple Store. So a lot of people are just waiting in anticipation, hitting refresh over and over again.
Yeah, that anticipation was definitely among some of us here in the newsroom, too. Jason Schreier of Kotaku, thank you so much for joining us, and do take care.